for the people being controlled.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why they're hysterical. Finally, and I think this is the most interesting one, and there's gay rights is a wedge issue in churches. And so what you're going to see is when we start allowing, when you start allowing people to marry, the gays wanting to enter churches to get married, the churches end up in this awful situation of either allowing it or disallowing it, but they have to make a decision, and they have to kind of go back and explain to their people why they're making this decision. They have to put a stake in the ground, and they have to argue that if they allow marriage, they have to say, oh, we're going to throw out the Bible yet again. We threw it out with slavery. We're going to throw out the Bible yet again with gay stuff. And it begs the question of why have a Bible at all? Or if they go with the Bible, they have to explain, well, why did we decide one way on slavery and another way on this other thing?
They pick one passage over another.
Right.
We're going to ignore this one over here that says if a man lies with another man as he lies with a woman, it's an abomination and they should be put to death. And we're going to instead focus on love thy neighbor and turn the cheek.
Right. So it's going to have to be a lot of spin, and people are going to read their Bible, and that's a terrible thing for religions, for people to go read that.
You want to
anyway,
help somebody be an atheist? Tell them to start reading the Bible.
So what will happen is we'll see in all sorts of churches, we'll see kind of a holy war where people will take sides on this issue because it is a contentious issue, and we've seen that play out in the Anglican Church, the Episcopalian Church.
It's going nuts in the UK right now.
Is it?
Based on what some people have sent me an email, fights over whether or not women should be ordained, whether or not gays should be ordained. You know, they've found something to fight about, and evidently there's quite the row over there.
And there's going to be a lot of schisms, and churches are going to break up, and people are going to leave the church. So we're going to have sort of a loss of power or loss of importance of the church because you know, this is back to this absolute morality thing. You know, if you can't make up your mind about issue X, and half your church goes one way, half your church goes another way, that sort of defeats, in a very real way, any sort of moral authority that you have. If you can't, you know, decide this issue, and it is a contentious issue, and therefore the churches are going to suffer for this. So all the bluster about gays and silly arguments and all this hysterics is just concealing the fact that the church has some very deep problems in store for dealing with gay rights issues as it comes through. They're going to lose money, they're going to lose power, they're going to lose their stranglehold over society, and they're going to all get divided up into pieces, and it's too bad that there's no God helping them out.
Bummer. Gays are going to destroy your church. And you know why?
So they're going to destroy it.
It needs to be destroyed.
But
the
not
problem
the way
is in
they
the
think it
church.
is.
Yeah, the problem is in the church, in the religion, in the dogma, in the mindset, and it needs to be changed. It's one of those things where we talked about earlier. Tell us what Americanism is and why it's a bad thing that it's going away. We looked up what it is. I'm not sure if it's a bad thing that it goes away or not. But I'll tell you what I think, and that is bigotry is a bad thing, and it needs to go away.
Meddling with other people is a bad thing.
In your church too, and it exists within the ACA. There's nobody, at least I have not met anybody, who doesn't have some little trace of bigotry about something, some nugget of insensitivity, of xenophobia, of us versus them, that can play into decisions that they make. And the one thing that I've done, and I haven't resolved this completely, I'm sure there are plenty of things that I still need to fix, is try to recognize when I'm making decisions that are based on things like that, so that I'm not acting out of bigotry, out of prejudice, out of ignorance, that I'm making informed decisions, that I'm trying to do the right thing and treat people the way we should all be treated, so, with fairness and equality. When your church goes under, when your religion falls by the wayside because it was ill-equipped to deal with a changing reality, I realize that some of you are going to be very distraught over this. Take stock in what's really been eliminated. We've said many times before that we understand religions and churches do good things. Let's keep the good parts and chuck the bad parts. Let's keep what's real.
Let's cut loose the baggage
and get rid of the bad of what's not real. Yeah. There's absolutely no. I mean, we've built universities. We can use the elements of religion. The elements of religion that are good exist outside of religion. There's no positive thing within religion that is exclusive to your particular dogma or theology. And the fact that many different religions can get together in times of crisis and stop fighting with each other long enough to gang up on some common enemy, like the gays or the blacks or the Jews or the atheists, demonstrates that there's something that unites us. And what you guys need to realize is that it actually unites all of us. Chuck out the dogma, chuck out the superstition, chuck out the baggage, and let's get on with improving life for everybody. Let's work towards a better world, and don't mourn the loss of your silly superstitions that you have no justification for anyway. The truth has nothing to fear from investigation. The truth has nothing to fear from gays. The truth has nothing to fear from atheists. It either stands or falls, period. But we got one last caller and just a couple minutes left, so I want to get to this. Is it Chuck on the line?